Santorum, famous of man-on-dog sex complaints. Don't get me started on that story. You know what? I'm going to get started. Santorum is such a clown, okay? First, that's the famous story where he says, you know, if you allow gays to get together, next thing you know, men are going to be going after dogs. I don't know why that popped into his mind, okay? He's also the guy who said, we need tort reform. It has to be capped at $250,000. Then when his wife hurt her back and apparently had some problems at a hospital, he sued for $500,000. Okay, so this is that clown Santorum. He's also the one that got mauled, lost by 18 points when he was running for re-election. This clown thought he was going to run for president, lose by 18 points in his home state. So now that's that clown that's about to give this speech.
And it can't just be about, let's think about it, it can't just be about more government. It can't just be about that. Because you know what? Let's be honest. We were guilty of more government when we were there.
Correctamundo. Starts off right.
So what is it that has really sparked this flame that is burning so brightly across America that the political landscape is about to shift? Well, let me give you my thinking on this. What I think we see happening is a change of who we are as America is being threatened. See, America is not a country that is based on an ethnic heritage. America is an ideal. America is an ideal based on founding documents. Now, I know we hear a lot about founding documents, but I'm talking about different founding documents. The founding documents upon which our founding documents were based. And that's the Judeo-Christian ethic. That is the base.
Totally and completely false.
We are a people of Western civilization founded upon the Bible. We believe in the dignity of every human person. Why? Because we are created in the image of God. We believe in a constitution that's based on those Judeo-Christian ethics. You hear a lot of folks talking about Barack Obama wanting to make us into Europe. Look at the two constitutions. Our Constitution and our founding documents talk about a creator and talk about these rights endowed by God. Their Constitution does not even mention their heritage of Christendom. They are a completely secular country. They are a country that government is the diviner of rights. And so when I say what is at stake in this election is the vision of who we are as America. It's our aspiration that people are worried about. But the reason people come to this country is not so much of who we are, but who we want to be. And Barack Obama wants to change who we want to be. He wants to change the vision of America that our founders have ingrained, and our generations before us have ingrained in all of us. That's why Americans are unsettled, because they see something bigger than just more of the same Washington stuff. It's a bigger and broader vision that has just gotten people to erupt out of their chairs and say, no, we are going to fight for America. We are going to fight for the Judeo-Christian ethic. We're going to fight for our founding documents, and we will win in November.
All right, and so the essence of that speech is America was not founded on any ethnic heritage. It was founded on a religious heritage. So we will do that kind of discrimination, not the other kind. Okay, now, this is the brazen repetition of lies. America was the first ever secular country. It was the first country to say, we will not base our country on any particular religion. That is an absolute historical fact. You can read all of the founding fathers on that. Furthermore, you could read the Constitution that says, we shall not establish a religion. That is fairly clear in the First Amendment. Okay? How much clearer did they need to be? And there is no talk, as Santorum says there, of we are based on Christendom. and our heritage is Judeo-Christian. It's not in the Constitution. In fact, the exact opposite is in the Constitution. Even if you thought Christendom is the answer, which form? They didn't want to make those choices. Instead, they wanted a country based on laws that we created as men. So that's the big lie of Rick Santorum. Now, on a side note, he said, you know, as all the Republicans say, we were guilty of big government too when we were in charge. But they never explained that. Why were they guilty of big government? Because they got paid by corporate sponsors, the defense industry, etc., to load up the budget with pork. But they don't ever explain that. They just say it as if like, oh, I made a judgment in error. You know, I was going out with a girl and then there was a really hot chick and yeah, you know, I banged her too. Okay. No, it wasn't like that. You made an active decision. You said, no, I'm going to take money from this guy, put it into my pocket, or I'm going to put it into my campaign coffers, and then just give him a contract with the American taxpayers' money. You did that over and over. So don't just pass over that. You're exactly what's wrong with government. Now you want to get put back in charge, please. And then, look, finally, the whole point of that religion speech is that he wants to get to the core of that anger that he talks about, that the crowd feels, what he called the eruption of their, erupting out of their chairs, he said, that people are that angry. And the way he stokes that is not by any rational argument, not by what's wrong with any particular bill, health care or financial reform or anything else. He says it by implying that Obama is against Christianity. Obama is against Christendom and Judeo-Christian heritage, and he wants to turn us into a godless country. That's the best he's got. And so then people get all riled up because that's an attack on their identity, or at least they perceive it that way, right? So then they erupt out of their chairs and they say, oh my God, let's go get him. I can't believe how bad the health care bill is. What? What does that have to do with the health care bill? No, it's the same old Republican identity politics. They want to turn us against one another. They did it with the Southern strategy, which then they later apologized for. Whoops, our bad. We were racist for all those years and tried to appeal to Southern racists. That's what the Southern strategy was. And now they're appealing to try to split us along religious lines. Are you going to let it work? Well, that's up to you. So that's Santorum at the Southern Republican Leadership Conference.
Have you seen all the TYT videos from today? Check out the Young Turks YouTube channel. Do it already.